girls on the side say, and all my fellas on the side say, tonight we're gonna fly high to the skies, cause we're gonna have a taste of the good life. Here we go, here we go, here we go up. We're gonna rock this club till it blows up. Yeah, we're gonna live a good life. Yeah, we're gonna do it all night. Tonight, we're gonna live the good life. Alright, let's go and live the good life, the good life. Tonight, we're gonna live the good life. Alright, let's go and live the good life, the good life. Tonight, we're gonna live the good life. Alright, let's go and live the good life, the good life. Tonight, we're gonna live the good life.
All right, we're going to live the good life, everybody. What's happening? It's your boy Onyx here going full nerd. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and get that music out of here. What's happening? I know y'all missed me. I'm back. We're here. I wonder where I got that from. But anyway, everybody, here's Onyx, and we are ready to get down with a going full nerd review. Yes, yes. I haven't done one in such a long time. But first, before we even get started, and before I kind of let you know what's been going down, let's hit that shameless plug and get this whole thing started. Shameless plug time, folks. What's up, everybody? It's shameless plug time. So thanks for checking out the podcast, Going Full Nerd. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe everywhere possible. So look for Going Full Nerd on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, goingfullnerd.com, and my Twitter handle, ONYXXX1969. You can also listen to the audio version on its home, Anchor.fm, but also on Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast listening pleasure. Hey guys, let's get on with the show. Hey, what's happening? We getting on with the show. What's going on? It's your boy Onyx. I'm back. Yes, I'm about, the last live stream I did, I was like maybe 60-70% after getting sick, almost catching pneumonia and all that stuff. I am about 92%, not 100, but about 92. Feeling so much better. Thank you for all the well wishes that I got. We've had some crazy stuff going on. I mean, between hurricanes, typhoons in the Pacific, Delta variant running, but it's nice to be able to get back to something pretty cool, and that's going to a movie with proper precautions, of course, and being able to do a movie review. I still haven't got back to doing the top 10 box office because, not everybody's doing, for those that have been watching the channel a long time, I used to do the top 10 box office, but we're not getting it. But anyway, it's been real busy. Your boy got out of town for a little bit. I had a plane ride. Oh man. That was my first pandemic plane ride. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really feeling it. But I got to see my youngest grandson, got to chill with him for a little bit, and enjoy, have fun, do all that good stuff. I went to the mountains. I saw mountains, not like I haven't seen a mountain before, but I got this cool cup. And this cool cup is for my fans of The Shining, because I actually went to the hotel where it was filmed. That was pretty cool. Let me take a sip of my red rum secret beverage. Nice and delicious. So let's get to it. But I'm back, everyone. And what better to be back with than a review of the latest Marvel movie? I know I'm a couple of weeks behind, and you probably looked at a lot of other YouTube channels, heard their take. But here's the key: their take is not my take. And my take is the take that you want to take home with you. Man, that was a mouthful. That was actually a mouthful. So maybe well, whatever. Here we go. So let's talk about Shang-Chi. And the deal with Shang-Chi is this. For years, I've been pronouncing this so wrong. Notice I'm saying it correctly now. Shang-Chi. That's how it is, Shang-Chi. I mean, as a kid reading comic books, I was calling this dude Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi. I was like I was making the long A. I was like being real American with it. But the correct pronunciation, according to Marvel now, is Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. Not Shang-Chi, but Shang-Chi. Master of Kung Fu. I know Kung Fu now. I don't know nothing. But anyway, hey, here's the deal. We got this Marvel movie, and, here's the thing. It's not following your typical stuff. So I'm not going to follow the typical review. I'm going to talk really about three main characters and my emotions on the movie. And it's still fresh in my head because I actually saw this movie earlier today. I went this morning, 11:40 in the morning, to go see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, here's the cool thing about this. You know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I know I've complained and talked about all sorts of movies and complained about movies about not being close to their comic book origins or not following comic book storylines properly. I am guilty of it because I am a comic book purist. But this movie really drives home the point that you can have a very good intent, a very good premise, and loosely follow a comic book. And we'll get into a little bit more about Shang-Chi and certain things. But I'm going to talk about the three main characters, in my humble opinion, outside of Shang-Chi. Now, Shang-Chi is a pretty straightforward character himself. Martial arts, this is his origin story. They go through what made him the person he is, what shaped and molded him to get to the point that he is at the end of the movie, which is pretty awesome, which is pretty cool, which has so much throwback, in my humble opinion, to the old Saturday morning Kung Fu theater that I used to watch as a kid in New York, to a point. Now, speculation aside and connecting this to the bigger Marvel Cinematic Universe, I will get to that in my overall ending synopsis. But I'm going to talk about a couple of things that really sparked my interest in the whole movie. First of all was the character of Katie, played by Awkwafina. Now, I'm going to tell you, I really wanted to hate that character. I wanted to throw on my Dave Chappelle player haters ball clothes and be like, I want to wish everything bad happened to you and only you when it came to Awkwafina's character Katie, because I am not a big Awkwafina fan. I don't know what it is. I don't dislike her, but for some reason her stuff does not the things that she does, it doesn't grab me. I mean, I know she's had a couple of she's a comedian. I don't know a heck of a lot about her. She's had a couple of acting roles that were pretty much cool, but it's something about her. She's not unattractive. It's just something about her just doesn't sit well with me. So I was honestly surprised that they didn't go over the top with the comedy relief that this character could have done. And for that, I am thankful. I am greatly thankful. I mean, she wasn't completely forced into the story, but I also felt that she could have been replaced in the story or ignored outside of her doing a couple of minor things. But here's the point: she played a couple of key parts and she served as an additional catalyst for Shang's growth as a character. Although it wasn't major, it wasn't over the top, it wasn't something that, oh my God, we're putting her on camera every 5 minutes. Now, honestly, in the beginning of the movie, I felt it was going to go that way, and then it stopped. It stopped. And that was key to her success as a character. I liked it. I liked it. I liked it. Didn't love her, but I was accepting and dealt with it. Interesting. I got to take a sip from the red rum mug. Mm. So let's get to the main gist. Let's talk about his father. Now, here's the thing. In 2008, Iron Man introduced a faction of a terrorist group called the Ten Rings. They were the ones that abducted Tony Stark in Afghanistan. You remember that whole story from Iron Man 1. And we learned that, Obadiah Stane, played by, what was that, Jeff Bridges? Lloyd Bridges? One of them Bridges. Well, whatever. He's dead anyway. But anyway, Obadiah Stane engineered the whole thing, but it was the Ten Rings who actually did the event. That's kind of something we got to keep in the back of our mind. Now, once we made it to Iron Man 3 in 2013, they introduced the Mandarin. Now, the Mandarin, for those of us who don't understand, okay, for those of us who don't understand, the Mandarin is a longtime Iron Man villain. And the thing is, he was a very stereotypical, um, almost offensive character, up until recent years and things like that. But pretty much they caught flack at Marvel for making it more of a joke, introducing Ben Kingsley as the actor Trevor Slattery, who made up the character of the Mandarin. And, we found out the real villain was Aldrich Killian, founder of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics. And pretty much it dropped off right there. People were pissed. People were pissed because the Mandarin, comic book wise, was a longtime Iron Man foe, and it's like he was like the Lex Luthor to Iron Man being Superman. He was the Joker to Batman, as far as Iron Man was concerned. Now, in Shang-Chi, Legend of Ten Rings, we had Tony Leung. Okay, well, I always mess up these names. But anyway, he played Zhu Wenwu, and he was revealed to be the head of the Ten Rings organization. And he was somebody who found these 10 powerful rings, more like bracelets, okay? And he had lived for thousands of years, manipulating global events to his advantage, almost like a shadow government, and doing his thing. Now, here's the deal. We find out that, you got to go back a little bit. There was a Marvel one-shot called Return of the King, where an actual member of the Ten Rings broke Trevor Slattery out of jail, played by Ben Kingsley. You can see it on Disney Plus. They got it there. They actually put it there right before the Shang-Chi movie came out. So that's real good placement. And they didn't push it either. That's kind of cool. But here's the deal. You go ahead, you look at that. They break them out and they show you, hey, the Ten Rings is a real organization. And this Mandarin that you quote unquote made up is actually based off of a real person, and he's pissed that you did that. Oh man. So we all thought at the end of that Marvel one shot They were going to kill off Ben Kingsley character, and that would have been it. Right now, no. We get here and now after the snap or blip, whatever you want to call it. All right. And honestly, we got the best explanation of the Mandarin. So there's not a true Mandarin like the comic books, but we have Wen Wu, who is filling in for this particular character. Okay. And there's a quote in the movie that was actually pretty damn good. And he explained it like this. He said he appropriated, talking about Aldrich Killian and Trevor Slattery, all right, saying he appropriated 10 rings, my 10 rings, but because he didn't know the real name, obviously, Wen Wu, um, you know what name he chose? He chose the Mandarin. He gave the figurehead of the 10 rings the name of a chicken dish, a Chinese food chicken dish. So that really pissed him off, and that's why he went to send to get the guy knocked out. But here's the deal: he went back, found him. I don't know if he felt sorry for him, felt joke, but he kept him alive as a quote unquote, as they say in the movie, a court jester. Well, it is what it is. It's all good. But the thing about it, that one line, that little thing redeemed this whole movie from having the racist elements that have been embedded in older Marvel comics that we pretty much were, subjugated to as a kid, back 70s, 60s, early 80s, you know, and it's a subtle, you know, kind of fixing of that, making things actually proper, which is kind of cool. Now, here's the thing: Shang-Chi as a character, it's just built upon racist stereotype, racist stereotype, racist stereotype. So this movie had a real hard hill to travel up to fix that. You know, Black Panther showed strength and nobility. This movie had to fight stereotype and try to do the same thing. So it's really interesting. Now, Black Panther did it in one way, showing Africa, showing Wakanda, even though fictitious, as a highly developed, highly advanced, holding on to a certain traditional culture, kind of combining different cultures. And they did the research and they did that. I think they did the same thing so much, even though I think there's some issues going on in China with the Chinese release of this movie because they've got a few issues with it. And I'm not sure what that is. I guess I have to do some more research and maybe bring it up at another time. But here's the thing, Shang-Chi as a character has had all sorts of origin stories. He was originally the son of Fu Manchu, he had all this stuff. And because of licensing, because of cultural, you know, sensitivity, they fixed all of that. They changed it, they manipulated it to the good. And this is what we have here in this movie. Sorry to be so detailed, but I got to get into it. Now, let's talk about another character who was actually made up for this movie and not a character for the comic. And that is Shang-Chi's sister, Zhai Ling. I really hope I'm pronouncing all of this right. Now, here's the deal: the character of Zhai Ling, his sister in this movie, was actually a combination of multiple characters from the comic book. Because in the comic books, Shang-Chi had like 4 or 5 sisters, and what they've done is they've taken those 4 or 5 sisters and combined them into this one. Now, here's the deal: this character is very, very, very different and unique to a point. So they took 2 of his sisters out the comic book and kind of combined them. He had 2 sisters, one known as Cursed Lotus, another sister known as Sister Hammer. They combined some of the elements from each of those, and boom, this is what you got. Now, there's some exposition inside of the movie, which is pretty darn cool, on how the father ignored the daughter, once he became obsessed with trying to bring his wife back and all sorts of. So it is what it is. But one of the subtle parts of this is you get a feeling about the daughter, about Shang-Chi's sister. And the deal with Shang-Chi, his sister, is she doesn't seem completely 100% on the side of Angel. She seems like a very complicated, a very um shadowy character, and it is what it is. So we'll get to that. And I will get to the Abomination because it is not as in depth as you think. So now let's go on. You want to talk the Abomination? Let's talk the Abomination. The Abomination is no more than a cameo in this film. And really, it doesn't have much of a connection to anything other than good fan service. I'm going to be honest. I like the way they redesigned the Abomination. Mm, they gave him a more comic book accurate look. Now, here's the thing that kind of bugs me about the Abomination, but there's little key Easter eggs that you can see from his small yet short appearance on screen. He's in a cage fight match with Wong. That's one of the first things that I'm going to say is, what the hell is Wong from Doctor Strange doing cage fighting? I mean, they had little Easter eggs in there. You saw one of the Black Widows from Black Widow. You saw one of the extremist people or somebody that took the extremist treatment from Iron Man 3. They were fighting, doing a few different things. You saw a lot of fights. You saw a big sumo wrestler look like E Honda from Street Fighter. Kind of cool. But here's the thing about the Abomination and Wong. They seemed very, very friendly. Like this was something that they planned to do a long, long time. Plus, we also have Wong actually talking to Abomination like he's a friend. You know, he's calling him by his first name. Hey, Emil, you know, and things like that. Now, as far as speaking part, you know, the Abomination really didn't have a true speaking part. And that's something that is kind of in there. There was a lot of grunts, a few things. But when Wong took the Abomination out of there after their fight, take a look at the portal and where the portal goes. It looks like it's going back to a prison, high-tech prison type area. So, what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. Let's go back to statements that the internet has been going saying Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon. Netflix Marvel shows are not canon. Let's talk about the Abomination real quick. The Abomination was part of the Battle of Harlem against the Hulk from the Hulk movie that people just really don't pay attention to. Okay, Emil Blonsky basically took a jacked up version of the super soldier formula, subjected himself to gamma radiation, and became the scaly skinned Abomination. Obviously, over the years, since we have not seen him since I think it was 2009, inside the Hulk movie, was it 2009, 2010, whatever. We haven't seen him since then. We've had mention of the Abomination in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first season, where Coulson basically threatened Agent Ward about you can be out there guarding Blonsky at a remote S.H.I.E.L.D. site. Now, with the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, and all that good stuff, maybe he got released, maybe he didn't. But for some reason, somehow, he ended up getting chummy with Wong because they discussed, and I guess they're doing this for money. So that's kind of interesting. I would love to see what's going on with the Abomination. Hopefully, he shows up a little bit more with these dark Avengers. And I think the rumor control says he is going to show up in the She-Hulk Disney Plus television series. So we'll see what happens there. But as far as inside the Shang-Chi movie, Blonsky was a fleeting moment that was good fan service and kind of drew a few people in. Now, let's continue on and get to my overall thoughts about the movie, because I'm not going to spoil it too much with Shang-Chi, because Shang-Chi is pretty much, you know what goes down. You see it in the trailers. Pretty much it is what it is. But let me just go ahead without a major spoiler and give my overall thought. This was a great film. Although it is not Civil War, it is not Black Panther, it is not Infinity War or Endgame. Although, in my humble opinion, it ranks up there with them. It is not as powerful as those other films, but it is close. It's close. It's damn close. It's pretty damn good. Okay. Awesomely powerful. All right. Now, here's the thing, it brought a much needed organization to the Shang-Chi character. Okay. Because pretty much over the years, this character has been mired in an ever changing, you know, origin story, periods of confusion regarding that origin. Originally this character was really seen no more than as a 1970s product of kung fu and stereotypical portrayals of Asian heritage that we all kind of fell into that trope. Okay. Everybody fell into it. Everybody wanted to be Bruce Lee. Everybody wanted to have Kung Fu theater style. Everybody flying across with these super kicks and doing all this wire fu. And you can see it inside of movies today. You can see it in The Matrix. They showed The Matrix trilogy. I mean, you got The Matrix trilogy and then you got the fourth one getting ready to come out. There's more. I know Kung Fu. Okay. You see it a lot. You saw all of it. Okay. We're finally getting things, we're getting a little bit of growth and a little bit of addition to it. Now, here's the key. They took elements in this particular Marvel movie, they took mysticism, which a lot of people kind of pair up with martial arts films. They took and added growth of another secret organization. I mean, how many secret organizations is the Marvel Cinematic Universe going to have? I mean, we have a ton of them in Marvel Comics, but let's see what we've gotten. We've gotten S.H.I.E.L.D., we've gotten the Commission introduced now, we've had AIM, we've had the Flag Smashers, we've now got the 10 Rings. Who else? What else? What else we got? We got, did I say AIM? Yeah, Hydra, the Power Broker and their group. We got so much stuff. And there's more. There's more. There's so much more. And I have a feeling they're going to introduce a hell of a lot more before Marvel's said and done. Now, here's the thing. They also added more extra dimensional threats. That may be key to the future. Hold on to that thought and remember that as we continue to go along. So here's the deal. This movie lines up as a solid offering. It kept me interested from beginning to end. What does it get on the Going Full Nerd scale? It gets a 4 out of 5. It's not perfect. It's not bad. Okay? I can't wait to see how this will fall into the grand scheme of the current Marvel phase. It does not give a direct tie-in to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It does not give a direct tie-in to any of the Disney Plus shows. It does not give a direct tie-in to the next Marvel movie getting ready to hit the streets, known as The Eternals. None of it seems like it's going to move forward directly from this movie. Yet, it gives hints. Now, so many people, there are 2 after credit scenes. 2. All right. First one connects Shang-Chi to the larger Marvel universe. Okay. Those 10 rings, they have an origin. But nobody knows where they came from. They're unrecognizable by current MCU people. So that's something to think about. Not completely spoiling it, but could it be that something bigger is coming? Can it be that the 10 rings could be a lead into the Eternals movie? I mean, we're getting to learn more and more about the Eternals movie based off of trailers and the stuff we're seeing on the internet, that they've been around for thousands of years, much like these 10 rings. Okay. And no one knows their origin. Okay. We had mysticism, mystical elements. Okay. Or could this be a connection to something not extra dimensional, but in outer space? Could it be calling something big to Earth? Can they be emitting an energy that draws something that these giant bracelets, which could actually, if your finger is big enough, it could be a ring, like the true Mandarin from the comic book. Okay. Could that be a signal to Galactus? Maybe, maybe not. It's a thought. Because the power being expended, people notice the energy. Okay. All right. Only time will tell. But I can't wait to see how this ride progresses. Now, here's the thing. Iron Fist. Marvel seems to be distancing itself from Iron Fist and Kung Lao. Now, if you want to go look up some stuff in the comic books, here's one of the things. Iron Fist and Shang-Chi really don't like each other much, from what I understand. They're not fighting each other, but here goes the thing. Shang-Chi looks at Iron Fist as an amateur. Oh, and Shang-Chi in the comic books is basically heralded as the greatest martial artist in the Marvel Universe. So with these added elements, it's kind of interesting because, you know, the comic books have done a lot with the Iron Fist character, the Iron Fist mythos, and Kung Lao. So it would be great to see how this falls in. But there's millions of dimensions. There's millions of alternate worlds. We know that the multiverse has been broken open via Loki and the What If series, which I really do need to do some more videos and talk about. I think I haven't done a What If video. Well, I know I haven't done a What If video since the first episode, but this is something to think about. But anyway, that's all I got to leave you guys with this week. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks a lot for joining in the chat. Remember, if you can't say anything nice about anybody, don't say anything at all. And whew, let me drink this red rum cup. Oh, remember, if you can't say anything nice about anybody, don't say anything at all. Send it to me, and I'll do it for you. Hey, and just remember, we got coming up in November. Can't remember the date offhand. I don't know. My mind is out of whack. But we're going to have some video game streaming. Remember, we're trying to reach $1,000. I got to make another deposit based off of channel memberships being brought in, which is awesome. But right now we are at $445 raised for Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. Remember, if you don't do it for me, at least do it for the kids. And as always, before I hit that funky outro, I'd like to go ahead and say, peace, y'all. And I'm out of here. Let's hit that music because, you know, I'm still fly.
Everybody smoking all the greenery. Close the match cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go.
All right, everybody. Hey, go New York Giants. You know I'm getting ready to cut this off, get back in there and see what the score is. They were losing at halftime when I started, so it kind of makes me feel some kind of way. Yo, anyway, remember, if you're watching this and the videos had time to process, you should see a big subscribe button. Hit that subscription. If you're already subscribed and you're not a member, please look at the bottom. These are the members. These are the people that bring Going Full Nerd to you. And also, our membership dollars, they actually go to Children's Miracle Network Hospital, Children's National Medical Center in D.C. Why? Because I need money, but I don't need that money. I'd rather donate it to the kids. Peace, y'all, and I'm gone.